you're going to not drink.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
when
too
you have
easy.
to get up at 4:30 in the morning, you know, you couldn't go, you know, you'd still get pretty crazy pretty often. But at least that was some kind of governor. I mean, that's the Stern Show saved my life. There was 15 years that I had to be somewhere every morning, you know. But I just was done, and I have no idea how or why. I didn't go to AA or anything. And everybody said, "Well, then you didn't have a problem." I'm like, "Trust me, I had a fucking problem."
And no big bottom. You didn't reach this point where it was like, "Oh, I gotta go." You just decided at that moment that was it.
Well, we were at that party, but we were separated. You know,
you took stock of yourself.
Yeah, no, well, you know, I moved
so
in.
Pick yourself up by your bootstraps.
I moved to the house by myself. I quit drinking, got divorced, quit the show. I mean, there was so much wrong that, you know, it was such a fucking major hiccup that, like, who the fuck knew?
How long after you quit the show did you quit drinking?
What is it? A couple months?
Oh, was that
I quit
close?
in March.
Well,
but I knew I had to quit right away. And
obviously, the show made you drink.
Well, you know, it's one of those things. I got divorced, and everybody, oh, Nancy left Jackie because he left the show. You know, we were going to be split up years before that, but there was no way I was going to go through a divorce and be on the show.
Oh my God!
You know, I would have been just too brutal. Hey, you getting any fresh pussy? You know, you know.
Yeah.
And
so when you
and I
left
know I
Howard,
had to quit, but you know, that's a tough thing, and you know, it's in the back of your mind. It's like the little guy back there going, you know, one of these days, because I quit for a year, like in 1990 or something, and I said, I could quit any time. Now I know I could quit any time. I said, wait, Jackie, that was 10 fucking years ago. You know.
Did you have withdrawals?
No, I didn't go through anything. Nothing.
I didn't have a problem.
Yeah, but you know, and that's what everybody says. And I'm like, all right, you know. But and when I tell myself I didn't have a problem, I say that's my way of trying to sneak myself back into.
Yeah. Just one beer. That's all.
It's so funny. I was at a New Year's Eve party a couple years after I quit, and I was at a New Year's Eve party out in the Midwest somewhere, and some girl was standing there, and everybody was drunk, and somebody took champagne. And she had a very low cut and a lot of cleavage, and somebody poured champagne down her cleavage without even thinking, not going for the booze. I licked the champagne between the tits just without even thinking, and every cell in my body is like, "Wow, we're drinking again! We're drinking again!" Because I wasn't thinking in terms of the booze. I was just being outrageous. It was like Popeye with the spinach. Like,
wow.
Fuck.
Shit.
But yeah, we always drank it, you know.
Yeah, that was part of like just driving around.
I had a 1961 Chrysler Imperial, which was the year of remember the fins got bigger and bigger and bigger, and that was when they topped out. It was just the ugliest, biggest baby blue car with the trunk was big enough that you could have a fucking orgy in it. and there was a back shelf, and we actually had a plastic bus box from Piping Rock Country Club there, and the thing, it was a fancy car, and there was a thing, it was old, but it was a fancy car, and there was a thing in the back that pulled down, an armrest, and we ripped out the leather, and ripped a hole in the cardboard, and we'd put beer on ice in the bus box. We called it our James Bond, and we'd go out and park the car and drink, and then reach through the thing to get beer, and you know.
And you put your empties in there, too?
No, toss them out the window.
Oh, toss them out the window, yeah.
We were idiots.
So the beer would be in the trunk of the car, and you would be able to
we got pulled over one time. The cop was like, you know, we're parking in the middle of nowhere, and where's the beer? And one of the guys freaked out and said it's in the back. And Bob Bishop, and the guy opened it, but you couldn't see it. The trunk was so big, and it was a shelf. He said, "What are you, a wise guy?" And there was no. It was like we got away with it once. Wow. It was like incredible. It's not a believable story, but if you see it, you know, I never think nowadays. You got the internet. You could Google a 61 Chrysler Imperial and see how fucking huge, you know.
That's one of the last things I would ever Google.
That would be on your list, Jimmy.
But I'm saying it's a real good thing for verifying stories, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, drinking and driving, of course.
It's what you think. Like I remember driving. I was going to the Patchogue Marina out there to catch a boat over to Fire Island, and I had a case of beer on my passenger seat. And I'm just taking cans from it, popping it, drinking them, and I got pulled over for speeding on the expressway.
Oh.
And the cop actually gave me a breathalyzer.
He did?
And I think I blew like a .7, and I think drunk legally was 1 at that.
Right.
It wasn't .8. And he goes, he goes, I could hold you here a little longer and make you do this again to see if, you know, you've been drinking. He goes, but I'll let you go. Go ahead. And I had a case of beer in the passenger seat. I'm drinking as I'm speeding down the expressway, and he's like, all right, go ahead. Now forget about it.
Is the act of having beer on ice illegal in itself, or do you have to be...
No, you can have it.
It can't be open.
In there. It just can't be an open
Okay.
container. And, you know, of course, I had that. I never gave thought to, like, all right, if it's empty, you could stash it under the seat or something.
Right.
But if you have half a beer and you get pulled over, where are you putting this?
Oh.
You just never thought about it. It was like, I won't get pulled over.
Yeah.
You know, in the 60s, it was crazy. I mean, they'd pull you over and you'd roll the window down, the cop go, oh, Jesus Christ,
Yeah,
man.
what are you doing?
Can you get this thing home? You know, it was unbelievable. You know, I'm fine. Okay, good. Get the fuck out of here. Drive fast so you get there quick.
It wasn't even a law in the books until, like 25 years ago, right?
Yeah,
Before that?
I don't know if
they
it was
never
a
really
law.
took
We got
it
through the 80s,
seriously.
too. With
Yeah,
some,
they just didn't give
some
a fuck.
crazy stuff.
What
What did you have to do back then for them to
You
actually
really had to
bring
fucking,
you in?
Yeah, you had to be like drunk and kill someone.
Just
and
plowing over
One
fucking
of the
groups of
greatest-
children.
Take a shot at Hoover.
Talk about
And even that, they're like, well, whatever.
You talk
didn't
about
mean
George
letting
has
you
a
get
mirror.
away. I remember I came home from college one Christmas or one summer, and it was quarter to the drinking. The bars used to be open till 3, and in the late '60s, the bars were packed until they threw you out.
Oh, yeah,
Nowadays,
yeah.
I drive through Oyster Bay at 12 o'clock at night, and the place is on
ghost town,
Friday.
ghost
It's a
town.
ghost
It's a
town.
ghost town.
I'm like, what? Where's everybody? What's going on? And because in the old days, so here I come home from college, and it's quarter to 3. And we're at the homestead in Oyster Bay. We're at the restaurant, and it's quarter to 3. And I said, hey, you know, we better line them up. And they said, what are you talking about? And I said, you know, come on, it's quarter to 3. You know, you line up your drinks because the bar's
Last
going to close.
call, yeah.
And they said, no. They changed the law. I said, what are you talking about? They changed the law till 4 o'clock. And I said, what fucking legislator sat there and said, all right, these guys get drunk till 3 in the morning. You know what? They do have an outside chance of making it home alive. Let's change the law till 4 o'clock in the
That's
morning.
true. It's absurd.
They moved it back a fucking hour. And they had to have changed. They changed the law.
Yeah, some of those laws, we always talk about the strippers.
Yeah.
Whenever you get strippers that, because they have full nude in some places, but Long Island, it's always the bottom and topless. You never see any pussy. Occasionally at some of the sleazier joints, but it's illegal and shit like
You got to
that.
go to Jersey.
Yeah. But they made a law, and you have to know when that law is made that it's made for good. Because there's not one guy that's going to run on the platform of, and we're going to get the fucking panties off of these strippers.
You're going to see some pussy if I'm elected.
Yeah. You better really think about those laws because there's no taking that one back.
It's gone forever.
It's gone. You're never
Forever.
seeing pussy on Long Island in a strip club. It just ain't going to happen because no politician can run on that platform.
And there's so many laws.
I vote for 'em.
There's laws like you can have full naked girls if you don't have booze, but if you have booze, you can't.
And then you can send people out to buy your own bottle of booze in some places.
Is it a bad thing that we can't see the pussies, though? Long Island strip clubs?
Yes, it is, man. I don't care. I would rather. I don't care.
There were some
I
rough
love
fucking
that
strippers on
you
Long
close your
Island.
eyes.
The day
You go
shift
to
on a week.
fucking the Brass Monkey or fucking down at Frogs in Smithtown.
There's nobody in the first 3 rows.
Oh, no. The girls would come home.
I don't want to get too close.
I'd cover my beer. I would put my hands over
what
my
I'm
beer.
talking
And it would
about.
be like I would go up on my elbows like I was getting closer to get a better look.
Really?
But I was covering the top of my beer because she was walking on the bar. And I didn't want any fucking crabs or whatever falling into my
used to
beer.
order a beer in a
Flap
clothespin.
away from my Rango.
It was terrible.
Meat curtains.
These girls would go by, but and it was always when I was broke, I'd go into a tit bar,
Grilled
broke.
cheese and bologna.
Oh God.
and you'd have to you'd have to put some money up. The beers were expensive and shit, but I didn't have a lot of money, so you'd have to sit next to the guy that had a stack of bills,
Right.
Because the girls would get in front of him and do the
okay.
fucking dance and shit, and you'd kind of. You'd
Sponge.
sap off of him, sponge off of his
Oh, yeah,
dollars.
sure.
Because you're seeing everything. I can give a shit if she's making eye contact with me. Who
that's a
cares?
very good
Long
point,
Island
yeah.
whore. Fucking Ronkonkoma. What's the name of that place? Bird's Place in
Birds.
Ronkonkoma.
That's where all the motorcycle guys went.
Yeah. Oh, and they would do anything there. 'Cause they'd pull the fucking G-string aside, and just show
Oh, yeah,
fucking
they-
Carousel,
Henry
right?
Bush.
Carousel.
is still open.
Still Wow.
Is that right?
I've been down there a
Jericho.
couple. I think the last time I was there, it was Christmas Eve at my aunt and uncle's house, and I was getting hammered there, and they live like off of like Cedar Road over there in Elwood. And I'm driving back home to Nassau County, and I'm like, I wonder if the carousel's open. Christmas fucking Eve, they're open. I go in there, I'm half in the bag, Christmas Eve, and just to see who's in the strip club at Christmas Eve.
Sad strippers.
It's like,
You and a bunch of Jews.
Yes, exactly. Menorahs all over the place. Girls are sitting on menorahs.
Giving change of $1 back.
Yeah, she's got one of those ice cream man change dispensers. Could I have change?
Oh, talk about did I tell you the Hungry Bear story last time?
We'll make believe we didn't hear it.
This is a horrible performer story. It's like 2 days before Christmas, and I used to play my guitar and tell my dirty jokes, and I was really horrible. I was trying to quit the band, but I didn't make the move to comedy yet, so I'm working at this place, the Hungry Bear, which is a single storefront in Huntington, and there's a Scottish bartender, and there's like 2 or 3 drunks at the bar, and I'm at the other end playing my songs and telling my dirty jokes, but it's like 2 days before Christmas. Anybody with any kind of family or heart at all is Christmas shopping and buying trees and doing everything, and there's a couple of lonely drunks and the bartender and I'm at the other end, and I'm trying to be cheery, and I'm playing a song, telling a joke, playing a song, and the guy says something to me, and I gave him the exact perfect straight line. I still want to shoot myself. I'm playing, singing, telling a joke, playing, singing, telling a joke. I'm in between jokes, and the bartender says, "Jack, they want you outside." And I said, "Who?" He said, "Everybody." Swear to God.
That's a good one. Softball.
I still don't like telling that story.
That's a great one.
That motherfucker.
Everybody.
What about the tender trap still open down the road there?
I think the trap is still open
You ever go
next
to
to the radiator place.
Those guys had it,
my friend's
easy.
diner.
They had it easy, man. Lunchtime at the tender trap right behind where they worked.
Yeah, it's nothing worse than walking out of a strip club when it's still light out, and you feel like Bela Lugosi. You're ready to.
You mean like you've been there all night through the morning?
No,
lunchtime.
Like lunchtime. We used to go for work.
Oh.
Like we take
Lunches.
lunch breaks and just like leave, go to the strip club, and then you realize like it's 3 in the afternoon. We've been there for 3 hours. We're hammered, but we got to go back to the job to pack the tools up, and you come out. And your pupils, you hear them slam shut.
Wow.
They're just fucking, you're kind of drunk.
What was the movie? Brew
Breaker.
Yeah.
Oh, when he got out of...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was like getting out of the box.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
Solitary in the hole. That's what it was like, literally.
Yeah.
We used to go to Scores with the Stern Show, and we go there like, at 11 o'clock after we got off the air sometimes, and you get really drunk and crazy and go carry on and just smell of stripper, and then you walk out and in the sun, it was just wrong. It was just wrong.
Yeah, there's something just wrong about leaving when it's light out.
About being drunk and smelling like that.
You just described our show. we talk about that. Yeah. We do all this unbelievable, like, you just know it's wrong, and it hits you when you go outside.
When you start walking to the parking garage, you go,
like,
why was
you see a woman walking with a 3-year-old, and hi, good morning.
Still have dried blood in your fingers.
We've had some stories, Jackie. We almost got fired 2 weeks after spending 2.5 years on the beach.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
We had a drunk, naked girl crying outside our studio on 57th Street. We were literally back on the job for only a few weeks. And Jimmy and I went to a diner afterwards. And he looks at me and he's like, "What are we doing? What's wrong with us?"
Well, wait a minute. Why was the girl crying? What had to...
It was 2 girls that came in with a band.
The band, it's smart on the band's part. They're like, "Hey, we're going to bring in some naked girls to do crazy shit if you allow us to come in and play a little music." You know the deal. You guys done that.
I fucked one of the girls without a bag. Asian chick. I took her into that room and I banged her without a bag. And the other one got really drunk and walked on 57th Street.
And we had a Jägermeister machine that worked well when we were at NEW. So we're like
frozen Jaeger, man.
And after sitting out 2 years, 3 months, we're like, we should just bring back the Jägermeister
machine. Let's take right up where we left off.
And let's not learn anything from our fucking hiatus.
And didn't an ambulance show up? Paramedic showed up.
Yeah. There was an ambulance. We had to bring girls through a back way to a loading dock, and because then the press
didn't
was
we shove the
us.
wiffle ball bat up at their pussy too?
Oh, well, up the asshole. But this was
like a
we were
rape.
barely back on the radio.
we sure were full of gusto.
And it goes back to the strip club story. It's like 9 in the morning. Normal people are going into the same building with their suits and ties to work.